It started on December 12th, 2023, when I was headed to dinner to meet a friend. And I was at the intersection of 19th Avenue and Bell Road in Phoenix, Arizona. There's a McDonald's and a Walmart on one of the corners, and the light was red. It turned green. I was crossing over through the intersection when Aileen Cano came pulling out of the McDonald's parking lot, crossing 4 lanes of traffic illegally. She turned right into my lane and hit my front driver's side. Unfortunately, it was quite a big impact, and I went over a couple lanes. She went over a few lanes. Unfortunately, I couldn't get my door open based upon the impact of the crash, but I was able to put my window down, and I noticed she was frantically running around her car, and I yelled out the window, "Are you okay?" And I thought she had perhaps a baby or a child in the car, and I was yelling at her, like, "Do you have a kid in the car?" And she said yes. And so she had mentioned that she's going to go ahead and pull back into the McDonald's parking lot to get out of traffic, which I thought was a good idea. It was rush hour traffic, so a lot of crazy people were still going around us. And so I was really just trying to jam open my door, and finally I got it open, and there was a gentleman in the middle of the road, and he's like, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" And I said, "Please just focus on her. She's got a kid in the car. I want to make sure her kid is okay. Will you please stop traffic and make sure she gets into the parking lot safe?" That was just my first thought. I didn't pay attention if I had major injuries or anything else that was going. I really just wanted to make sure that her kid was safe. So he did that. Unfortunately, because I had so much impact to my car, I could barely move my car because the impact into the wheel well. So it took me quite a bit of time to get into the parking lot myself. I finally did it, and I actually went into the Walmart parking lot, which is very close to the McDonald's parking lot. My car was leaking all kinds of fluid, and I had a lot of impact to the front of it, the driver's side. And luckily, there were a couple independent witnesses who pulled over. A couple of them came to help me to make sure I was okay. And after I checked myself for injuries and everything else, I was really focused on just wanting to go over to Aileen and make sure that she was okay, but most of all, that her kids were okay. I saw that there was what looked like a baby, a younger child, a little bit of an older girl, so I was really just hoping that they would be okay. There were a couple security guards that were roaming around the parking lot. They came over to check on me, and they actually told me that I probably do not want to go over to Aileen. And when finally I asked why, they said because her and her little sister were scheming up a story on how to make it look like it was my fault and not hers. She was able to leave safely in her car. Unfortunately, I had to wait and have mine towed to the auto body shop because it was completely inoperable and I was not able to drive it safely. It turns out that she had expired tags. She did get the citation for the accident. She showed proof of insurance, although I found out later that it was invalid, and she also gave an incorrect address. I waited a couple days only to find out she never opened up a claim with her insurance company for damages to my vehicle or even the damages to her. So I opened up the claim and found out the next day from the Safeway insurance adjuster that that claim was no longer valid. It was canceled 2 weeks prior. So she showed the police officer the insurance claim, knowing very well that she did not have valid insurance. Her mother, Jennifer, was the owner of the policy, and Aileen was a driver. So now I'm stuck with extreme damages with someone who does not have insurance. Now, since then, I made many attempts to contact Aileen in a very nice manner, trying to get her to work with me to at least make some payments or make some sort of effort to pay for the damages. She would block me, she would shut me down, and since then she's also provided false information to folks saying she doesn't owe anybody money, and recently explained to her most recent baby daddy that she has paid me in full and she doesn't owe me anything, which is completely false. She has not paid me a penny. And that's the story of what actually happened with the accident. Stay tuned for part 2.